What's up, YouTube? It's your boy DC back again with another Discussions video, the first one of 2025. And obviously, I'm decked out in Buckeyes gear because the day this video gets posted is the same day we play in the championship. So hopefully we win. But yeah, this is the first Discussions video of 2025. I asked you guys what are your bold predictions, hopes, and dreams for EDM this year. And you guys came through once again with a ton of comments. Got 54 unique ones here. And there's no way I can go through all of them because that would take forever, especially since a lot of you guys had multiple bullet points to each comment. So I'm just going to go through and pick probably like 10 to 15 of my favorite ones and just talk about them a little bit. And yeah, feel free to discuss more down in the comments. But yeah, we're just going to get started here. We'll start with the artist-related hopes and dreams here. And the first one's a heater. David Guetta actually releasing competent music. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't know much about David Guetta. I don't think I've listened to a new song of his since like early 2010s when Titanium was really big. So the most I know about him is from Bowtie's Weekend EDM songs, where he goes over new songs. And most of the time, David Guetta is towards the bottom of the list. I think I've heard he makes some really basic commercial house that appeals to the masses. So that's probably really successful for him. I wouldn't get your hopes up that he would actually make a real song for true EDM nerds like us. But that would be a pretty fun surprise if he did. Maybe I'll listen to him again this year. We'll see. Next up, Grizz makes a comeback, and it's by Husky. Dude, I remember you introduced me to Grizz a long time ago in submissions, so thank you for that, because I still love Grizz to this day. Love his Rainbow Brain album. I think last year I went back and listened to a couple more of his albums and did kind of a discog dive on him, so that would be awesome if he came back this year. Maybe he drops a new EP or an album, get people to remember him, because if you're into like funktronic stuff, Grizz is the top of the top, at least from what I've heard. Next up, Fox Stevenson Album 2. And the reply says, already confirmed unless it gets delayed. Dude, that's hype if that's true, because as you may or may not know, Fox Stevenson might just be my favorite drum and bass artist of all time. At least in 2023, I know for a fact he was, because he was my number one artist on Spotify that year. And yeah, there's just something special about his drum and bass, man. It never gets old. He's got great songwriting. He's a great singer. And the production is like super bright and upbeat and like really unique for the genre in my opinion. So I really can't wait if there's another album. You know I'm going to be covering that on this channel if it's true. A couple more artist related hopes and dreams here. First is Boss Fight releases more than twice. Yeah, I totally stand by that too because both of his songs last year were great. I really loved Ballistic especially because I'm a bass house boy, you know how it is. But only 2 songs, I shouldn't be too disappointed. I don't know how much work goes into making those songs of his, but normally he releases probably like 4 to 5 per year. So last year was a bit of a down year. Hopefully he picks it up this year because that's what the people want. People love Boss Fight, man. You can't deny it. And the next comment here is more AU5. Definitely agree. AU5 is definitely one of my favorite modern dubstep artists these days. And I'm pretty sure he only had like 1 to 2 songs last year, and they weren't my favorite from him. So hopefully he gets back to releasing more music this year as well. I agree. I forgot there was another comment that said maybe an AU5 times Roy Knox collab someday. I totally agree. I like both of those artists like I just said. But Roy Knox I've been getting into more lately, so that would be a dope collab if that happened. We've got 3 points for this one. Number 1, Noisestorm making a return to music. Yeah, Noisestorm has been out of the limelight for a long time. He's still probably riding high off of the Crab Rave popularity, but it would be cool if he got back to making music because he did make some classics back in the day. Number 2, Monster Cat times Geometry Dash, and I know other people mention this as well, and I haven't played Geometry Dash since it's probably been like 10 years since I've played it, but I remember back in the day I just loved Geometry Dash because it was a fun game, it was pretty challenging, and of course the soundtrack, which is mainly what it's known for, with some EDM in there, so that'd be cool if they did a collab with Geometry Dash because they've already done collabs with Rocket League, obviously. There's some other games I'm blanking on right now, but I'll throw them on the screen that they've done collabs with, so that would be cool. And then number 3, Xylent and Puppet albums. I know someone else mentioned Xylent's album, I think it's called We Are Ghosts, that's been teased. That would be insane because I listened to his We Are Dust album so many times. Like, it used to be my favorite album, period, for a while there. I haven't listened to it in a long time, but if he's dropping another album, I'll definitely revisit that one. And if it tops that one, that would just be mind-blowing. And a Puppet album, I've listened to a little bit of new Puppet. It's mainly like, he's definitely on the rock side of things these days. Little electronic production in there. I mean, it's not bad at all. It's just not really my forte these days. But if he drops a new album, I'd probably check it out regardless because it's Puppet. I mean, come on. Okay, next comment. Hopefully more experimentation is implemented across the board. I want to hear more Foley, more unique sounds, more wacky rhythms, just more fun. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, obviously, that's kind of what we all want as active EDM listeners. We want stuff to be creative, we want it to be unique, we want it to stand out amongst all the other popular and even underground stuff. We just want something different because the thing with EDM is a lot of it can sound kind of similar. A lot of artists tend to follow the same trends, kind of, I wouldn't say straight up copying each other, although there is that in some cases. But yeah, I'm definitely fans of more wacky rhythms as long as it's coherent and somewhat easy to follow. I still always love having like a main melody and bass line to follow throughout a track just because that's kind of how my brain works. So I kind of like the more structured songs. But with soloing, I mean, Haywire's a great example. He always throws some abstract stuff into his song with his solos. And so that's a lot of fun. That's all we can hope for, you know? Comment here makes a few different points. The first one being songs longer than 2 minutes. Yeah, I totally agree with this one. I know a lot of people's attention spans have gone downhill over the past few years, mainly thanks to one app that shall not be named. But yeah, it's always better to have a longer song than a shorter song, in my opinion. It just always gives the artist more time to develop their ideas and maybe even tell a story through their music. So I'm on team longer songs all day. Next point is less covers, especially slap house covers. Yeah, I gotta agree with that one. I think slap house is probably my least favorite type of house. It just seems like a really lazy genre, and making a cover of like a classic song, EDM or not, and just throwing it into slap house just so it gets a lot of plays, just feels like low effort to me. Next point is more diversity in genres. I feel like nowadays I just hear dubstep and house. I get they are the most popular EDM genres, but still I would like to hear more from the smaller genres like halftime and hardstyle. Yeah, I'm sure you can find more niche genres if you know where to look, but I think what you're saying is you want those niche genres like halftime and hardstyle to make it up to the mainstream. And I feel like that's a long shot, honestly, because people outside of the EDM industry or scene or whatever you want to call it, they probably have no idea what halftime and hardstyle is, which is why big name genres like dubstep and house get all the limelight, because people outside of EDM, they've heard of dubstep and house. Even if they don't like it, they kind of know what it is. So it's kind of hard to elevate those other more niche genres, like I said. But yeah, if there's too much dubstep and house, it can get old. That's kind of how it works with every genre. But that's why EDM is great, because it's such a broad, like, catch-all phrase with so much variety. You can really find anything. And his last point, finally, I wish more underground artists got attention. Like my point earlier about covers, it just feels like most big artists recreate covers in mainly slap house form when underground artists have shown a lot more creativity and ideas in sound design. Yeah, this is why the music industry is a gamble, man. It just feels really unfair because, like you said, a lot of creativity happens to come from the smaller artists, but it's so hard to grow a following and really blow up like the big artists. I don't know how they do it. It's like you had to get an early head start on it. And nowadays, with how accessible it is to make music, there's so many different people making music that it's just more and more competition. So I have no idea. You just kind of got to get lucky. There's really nothing else. Next comment here has a few different points to it as well. First one is Infect needs to step it up this year. He started to fall off a bit in 2024. Now, I honestly can't say if he fell off or not because I've never really been a fan of Rhythm and I haven't followed Infect for that long. So maybe the people who are fans of Infect and or Rhythm can comment down below whether or not his Veggie Games EP was disappointing. Number 2, Stealing Fire remix album. VR did it for Simulation, so yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that at all, man, because the Simulation remix album was pretty good. Simulation Deluxe album is fantastic, and the Stealing Fire album itself is pretty fire. So remix album would be dope. Number 3, hopefully Skybreak could release a huge project on Monstercat. He's been killing it recently. Totally agree, man. I feel like almost all of his singles over the past couple years have been nothing short of fire. So for him to make like one consistent album with maybe its own storyline, that would be insane. It'd probably be peak, honestly. And last point here, Square 4 Rhythm not being as overused as it is already. I'm not entirely sure what Square 4 Rhythm is, but I'm just going to assume it has something to do with the beat structure in Rhythm and why it all sounds pretty similar, which is why you think it's overused. And obviously me not being a Rhythm fan, I wouldn't mind some variety coming to that genre. Maybe it'll make me enjoy it more, so definitely agree with that. Alright, I think this is going to be the last comment I look at this video, and it's got a lot of different points. So number 1, Skybreak releases on Instinct. Yeah, I don't think he has released on Instinct yet, right? I know he got Cloud9 to join Uncaged, which was pretty cool. But yeah, most of his music, like I said recently, is fire. His color-based sound design is insane. So for him to make a more melodic, instinct-friendly song, I wouldn't mind that at all. Number 2, hashtag We Are Ghost 2025. Oh yeah, I already talked about this Xylence album that might come out this year. All I can say is yes, please. Number 3, the teased Pixel Terror times Ray Volpe times Boss Fight 3-way collab. Yeah, that would be hands down the collab of the year if it happened, just from namesake alone. 3 big dubstep artists getting together. Kind of reminds me of Sleepless from a few years ago, so yeah, that would be hype. Number 4, oh, we already talked about this, Monster Cat times Geometry Dash. Yeah, that'd be dope. I'd actually probably return to the game and try it out again if that happened. Number 5, one of the individual members of the Winamp Boys, best guess either Similar Outskirts or Kotori, is on Champo 3 or the singles that come after the compilation. I think I've heard a few songs from those guys. I'm pretty sure I like them. You can go back and check probably in my submissions videos or something. But yeah, I'm hoping Champo 3 is better than Champo 2 because Champo 2 was kind of disappointing in my opinion. And I got to go back and check out all the singles that came after Champo 2 anyway. Number 6, oh, we just talked about this, Stealing Fire Deluxe album. Yeah, that, like I said, that would be sweet. Number 7, Wales actually releases a song on his other half of his rebranding, the melodic half. It's Not Love was a success, so let's see what he can do. Yeah, I'm going to agree with this too. That would be cool if he finally returned to his melodic half. I'm pretty sure that was the last song he released on that side. And to be honest, I'm not the biggest side of his heavier half, so hopefully he can bring back the lighter side. Number 8, Maury Calliope times Ray Volpe double single or EP. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Ray Volpe. I think his stuff's pretty decent. I'm going to be honest, I don't even know who the first person is, but yeah, if that happened, I'd probably check it out. Why not? Last but not least, Disdain or Eccentric or Marsix debut on Monster Cat. Yeah, these aren't artists I follow, but they are artists that I know you guys have submitted to me in my monthly submissions videos. So I've heard some of their songs, and I think they're pretty good. So yeah, that'd be cool if they debuted. I wouldn't mind, as long as it's good. That's all I'm saying. But that's going to do it for this video, you guys. Thank you for everyone who left a comment. I'm sorry if I didn't feature your comment in this video. I did read all of them, but it's just too much to go through unless you want the video to be like an hour or too long. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and hopefully 2025, some of your guys' dreams for EDM gets fulfilled. So yeah, I'll catch you in the next one.